Hello, my name is Charlie Brooks and welcome to this month's Q&A. This month we've got the amazing Rochenda Sandall who is here to share with us. She studied at East 15 and RADA, I think, but I'm going to dig into that a little bit more. She's been in line of duty. She's currently in the rig, which is wicked. I watched 2 episodes. So I am going to bring her in. Hello. No, the sound is great. So that's
yes.
Technical issue.
Nailed it.
Amazing. Welcome to IAMPRO.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Charlie.
Thank you for coming on. So we did Sunday brunch together at the weekend.
Yeah.
I want to hear.
And we had loads of onion barges. It was great.
So good. I mean, the food was just. How lucky are we to get cooked for by Tom Kerry?
Oh no. Personal chef.
I know, right? He's so nice as well. What a lovely man he was.
Yeah, I know. He's lovely, isn't he? He's a good cook as well. Very, very good. Very, very good.
Right, let's get into all things acting. So, in my little intro there, I said that you, in your on the wiki page, it said that you're 15 and RADA. Is that true, or is it a wiki line?
No, that is 100% true. Yeah, I did when I was 17, I kind of moved to London and I did a foundation course just as I was on the cusp of being 18, which is just a year-long course, really, and it really made me decide whether or not I wanted to be an actor or not, and how to take it seriously. And then I tried to get into the main drama schools after that and didn't get in anywhere. And then I tried again the following year, thinking, oh God, I'm running out of time. Then I got back into East 15 3-year course. So I thought I'll give it a go, because at that point you kind of felt like being 21 as an actor was old. So I knew I kind of, I know that's totally stupid to say now, but I felt like people were kind of trained in these big schools from 18 years old. But then I just tried one more time for the top tier schools, and on the third and final try, I managed to score RADA.
Oh
so
my
I was
God.
like, yeah, it's been a long journey. I mean, I've done 5 years training. By the end of it, I was totally ready to leave. Put it that way.
Well, that just shows such persistence, because so many people will go, oh, you know what, I didn't get in, forget it, sod it, you know.
Oh no, I would say 3 to 5 year minimum, absolutely trying to get into places. It's just about what you want to do, and also how you're feeling in your head at that point. I mean, at 18, I think I would have totally kind of, pissed it up the wall, really. At one of these big schools.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
But it's good, isn't it? Quite often I hear people go, I didn't get into drama school. They want you to have that year out, because they want you to go, or 2 years out, whatever it is. They want you to have that life experience, actually, because that increases your ability, I think, to be a better performer.
Exactly, that's such a thing that they say, like, over and over and over again. When you kind of like repeat audition, you hear the same kind of like catchphrases, like life experience. That's totally true. And had I known that then, I probably would have like taken a few more gap years, you know what I mean? Rather than working in crappy pubs and stuff. But yeah.
You have people on the platform now that are like, oh God, I'm 45, am I too old? And I'm like, no,
man, you're in your prime.
I know. I was reading something about Samuel L. Jackson the other day, who was a heroin addict and didn't make it till he was like 48 or something. It was
the best don't. I think. Yeah. I think when you get shot up as a young, you're there, you're in your prime.
Right. So, what was I going to ask you? First of all, so what got you into acting? Like at 17, when you wanted to go to East 15, was there? What was your childhood? Not your childhood. Like, we're not going through deep trauma here.
Right. Well, no. No. Do you know what it was, mate? It was I wasn't really sure what I wanted to be, and I'd done a bit of Amdram and things like this, but on such a basic level. I mean, I'd never seen a play or anything, so I was like really, really infant to the whole idea of acting. But all I knew for definite was that I wanted to live in London. So that kind of like, and I had a little in with the Amdram, and then luckily for me, I did come across the foundation course, because it kind of consolidated for me what acting was, what a monologue, the real basics. What is a monologue? What is a soliloquy? How do you deliver the iambic pentameter. You know, can you disagree with that? That's later down the line. You know, all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, so it really, I was lucky in a way to have found the foundation, because it made me take it seriously. Yeah.
Did you disagree with the iambic pentameter?
I think that the best play around with it. Yeah, I think the best drop it at times. And I mean, King Lear, when Ian McKellen did it, I mean, he was ad-libbing in Shakespeare. Yeah, he was ad-libbing. And it was one of the most fantastic Lears I've ever seen. So I think sometimes when you chuck the rules in the bin, it's like absolutely incredible.
Can you explain to us what the iambic pentameter is, just for those people on the platform that don't know?
That's the real question. Can I explain it?
I haven't studied it all, so over to you.
Well, it's like a sentence goes like this: de-dum, 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 de-dum. And so, but I think it gets a little repetitive, if I'm honest. Yeah. So I think the best Shakespeare I've ever seen is when someone delivers a poetic line that's filled with Shakespearean language in a very modern way. And I think you've got to take a layer of the iambic off for that. Yeah, that's just my personal view. I'm sure I've got streams of teachers shouting at me right now, but never mind.
So then you went on to RADA. What was your experience like at RADA, and what was the biggest takeout for you?
Oh, I mean, it was incredible. It was like going to Hogwarts. I mean, you know, I didn't even know anyone that had been to like a big school. They kind of like take, I think something like 28 out of 4,000 or something it was on my year. I'm sure it's a lot bigger now, because they do New York auditions, they do auditions up north. It wasn't like that when I auditioned. It was just in the London building, but it was incredible. I mean, it does what it says on the tin. It's a label that sticks with you throughout your whole entire career, and just the actual practicality of it. They're so close to agents' offices, so it's like a walk away for most agents. And I did kind of have an intuition about that from being at East 15 for a couple of years. I was seeing kind of like 75% of East 15ers leave without agents, and it was kind of like a 95% pass rate at RADA, but it wasn't. Nothing about the training. I mean, I should know. I've been through every single bit of training, but nothing about the training or anything is in any way different to any of the other schools. I think the legit side of it is the agents coming in and being so close, and the pass rate.
I think that's one of the main reasons why people go to drama school.
Yes. 100%, 100%.
How important going to one of those big ones do you think it is for your career?
Well, the thing is, for me at the time, you know, when I came through, you couldn't Google, you know, any type of. I was talking to Mark about this morning. You couldn't Google any type of information about actors, or where to buy the shoes from, where to buy the long skirts, you couldn't find any information on Google at all back then. So it was important to go, because it was like the gateway in.
Yeah.
Whereas I think now there's so many more gateways. There's open castings. There's another kind of a similar vibe to this called Act Up, where they do a subscription and you can listen to actual people. Like, it was just a closed door when I was a kid. You could have never met a casting director off the cuff or seen him on a video. I mean, there was no video call, was there? So. Yeah. I don't think it's as important anymore, and I certainly didn't then either. And if I'd have had a way in without that, then I would have definitely looked into it for sure.
Do you think you came out a better actor?
I certainly came out with some very, very strong opinions about things. I think it's like anything. If you get trapped in a box with 28 people for 3 years, I think your mind is slightly skew with. I think that you actually become the better actor in the first 10 years, you know, outside of it. Do you know what I mean? It's it's a bit cabin fever, isn't it? You start believing what other people have said because you're still with the 28 people and things like that. You can't make up your own mind until you're finished.
Yeah. Those opinions that you formed, those strong opinions, do you stand by them now, whatever they are?
No, I like to think. Do you know what it is? I like to think of that opinions can change, and I think that as an actor, you need to always be constantly growing and shape shifting and changing the way that your brain works according to how old you are, how you're feeling that day. Nothing is ever stuck in stone for me, ever. I think people who do get stuck in stone, they often get trapped in their own heads a little bit, because it's a hard game to let things just go over your head, you know. But yeah, no, I think it's always good to be open-minded in all this.
Me too. And so your first gig out of drama school was straight into the National.
The National, eh?
It's taken me 25 years.
Well, they've never seen me again, darling, so
Yeah.
So I don't know what that says. Yeah, no, it was amazing. You know what? It was with the amazing Fiona Shaw, and she just finished shooting all the Harry Potter stuff. So she was like in a, and she spent she was this artist in it, and she spent the whole time with both breasts just hanging out as part of the show and part of her costume. And I just remember, no, not just like in general. It's like I'm spreading rumours. No, and it was like, I remember just seeing it being like, oh my God, I've never seen anybody be so like bold. And she was incredible. And the lady who was playing my sister, Grania Keenan, she was actually 2 years above me. So she kind of like, she'd already been at the National. She was like literally like my big sister, like showing me where to get my drinks, showing me where to, you know, go rehearse and things like that. It was so nice. It was actually a really, really nice job to start on.
Do you get nerves when you go on stage?
When I go on stage, yeah, I do get nervous. It's more like an adrenaline type nerve. So, but I love the nerves. I like swimming in the nerves. I think, yeah, I like the terror.
Makes you feel alive.
Yeah, it's a bit of a thrill-seeking thing, isn't it? Stage. It's like, I know some people get a little bit, and obviously that might happen to me one day. You know, you forget your line and it feels horrendous for some people, whereas for me, I think, oh, it's a bit cheeky at the minute.
Yeah, no, it's weird, isn't it? Because that has happened to me, and I'm like, it's my worst fear. I couldn't cope because I don't think actually, when you're in it, you're like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was wild.
But that's the live element. That's like the difference between television and theatre. Like that is literally the difference. And it's wild. It's like, yes, it makes you feel alive. Enjoy it. Because I'll tell you one thing, they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
The live element of it. I mean, I went to see the Share show the other day, and the understudy had to go on halfway into the second half. The lady who was playing one of the Shares just got vocal anxiety and couldn't hear her own voice anymore. I know, it's just because she's been going for so long. So
anxiety, I've never heard of that.
Me neither. And the lady went straight on, but the audience loved it. They were like, oh, we're part of something. We're part of something that nobody else has been part of. And I think it's always good to remember that.
Makes you feel like, as an audience member, when that happens, it's a different energy on stage, and it makes you really sort of get behind them, doesn't it?
That's live. That's what makes great live stuff.
Yeah. And you've done loads of TV. So do you have a different process for stage and TV? Do you have a process at all? Let's talk. What I want to get out of you is like
all my bits and bobs.
Yeah.
all my little bits. Do you know what? It changes. Each process changes. I mean, I have a set of questions that I try to do on every script. It's all dependent on the size of the part, really. As well, because if you don't have an emotional arc, some of the stuff doesn't work, and then you have to change it for, you know, something else. But I do a set of 4 questions, which are facts about myself, what I say about everyone else, what everyone else says about me, and then after that, go through those questions and then make questions out of those answers that you've already made. And that generally takes you through the entire piece, and it's a good first stop on script work for sure, because you just know your character then inside out, and you can decide how much of your backstory you're going to make up, how much is actually there on the page. Yeah, because you can never ignore the page, can you?
No, it's all there for us if we look.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a good way. That's a good investigative way of dissecting a script on a baseline level. But then obviously you go and do your other bits and bobs as to what you want to find out. You know, googling names that you don't know. You know, music is quite a big factor for me as well. Yeah. Finding a playlist. Yeah, I love playlists for characters. I feel like once you're in a character, stuff kind of like flies into you. Kind of life aura, so you it's weird, things just cross your path, like songs and things like that you've never heard of, that are great for association with the character and the life that they're leading. Of course, if you played it to anyone else, it wouldn't mean a Scooby, but
yeah, you know,
to you, yeah, in your heart. But then sometimes I like no music at all. I don't like having a support. It's all dependent on the character and how you want to get into it.
And when it comes to the character, building the character, like the physicality of a character, is that something that just comes naturally to you, that you find when you walk onto a set or onto a stage, or like the mannerisms or what a character might have? Is that something you think about?
I think it's interesting to use the word think, because I think it's a thought thing for me, for sure. I don't kind of like try and add anything too characteristic on top of a movement, unless it's a specifically physical piece where you're kind of collaborating to make that together. What I tend to do is just let it seep in through life, more through the thoughts. So with somebody like Lisa McQueen, for example, thinking about her materialism, the clothes that she would wear, you know, the fear of going back to reality, how she feels in a crowd of normal people. And, you know, you can kind of practice that, but that's not kind of like, you know, one shoulder up and that is just kind of feeling how you feel in your feet. But obviously that's totally individual. I know that some people love animal studies and all of that, you know, but for me, it's definitely a thought. It's definitely a thought process. And obviously you've got an amazing team behind you, wherever you're working as actors. They put these amazing clothes on you called costumes, and as you slide them on, you know, they're close to your character, aren't they? But as you slide them on, you get the feel for them, and it's not just us that has to make it all up. You see, we're always backed by such wonderful crew. Yeah. In
fact, on this job that I'm doing at the moment, I don't feel like I actually really got underneath this character until I got on the stage, which can, you know, provoke mental breakdowns in rehearsal. But until I put the clothes on and the shoes on the stage and went, oh, okay, now I know who she is.
That doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me at all, especially with your costume and things like that, especially the lights, everything. It's all part of the atmos. You know.
What about auditions, the audition process? You still auditioning for stuff?
Of course, everybody. I know. I long for these offers. People talk about offers. They've not come my way yet. No audition. Yeah, still auditioning, mate.
Any top tips on self-taping?
Oh, self-taping. Yeah, obviously it's a big part of it now, isn't it? I would recommend blue as background. Blue wall. Yeah, grey has kind of gone out of fashion. I don't know why. But blue seems to just give you a less washed out feeling. Great. It's a bit like this wall, really. This is a bit like it washes you out a little bit, but blue kind of pops all your clothes and things like that. It just, generally speaking, looks better. Don't prepare for self-tapes. Don't spend all day on it. That's what I used to do at the beginning. I'd spend 12 hours on a tape, and it's just it's not the process of when you're actually on set. So you might as well get in the habit of doing it within kind of 4 or 5 takes.
Yeah.
Because you overthink it as well. Oh, it's excruciating, isn't it?
But there's something in your instincts as well.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on your agent as well. But I cut mine together with the scenes that I want to send ahead. But I do have a friend who he can't bear looking at it. Right. So he just comes round, does 4 takes, and then he just sends it to his agent and says, "You choose."
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, would that be you?
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
I'd be worried to pick the wrong one.
You're more controlling than I am.
Yeah, I'm much more of a control freak.
I wouldn't know how to cut it together because I'm not very good at that. And B, yeah, I just wouldn't be. I like to. I don't know. Like sometimes I can be really indecisive. It can be really hard when you're so many different ways with a character to make a choice.
I know.
Like, what's the right one? What are they going to want? But actually, you've got to give your version of what that is.
It's just a wide brushstroke, isn't it? Yeah. And that's what I used to say when you used to go in the room a lot more. I'd say, I'll give you a wide brushstroke of this, and then when we'll fine tune it together, because obviously I don't have a whole picture of what the whole piece is going to be. You do. I can only know me. Yeah. I think it's never forget it's teamwork. I think sometimes as actors you can get kind of a little bit, oh my God, I'm on my own in this. I'm on my own in the self-tape room. I'm on my own when I'm dealing with calls. But you're not really, you know. Everyone wants to help you for sure.
And I love getting notes. I am like, give me the notes, give them to me. I love it. Let's try something new, you know.
And I don't mind brutal notes either. I know some people like them soft, but I'm like, I want you to tell me how to fine tune it. I don't need to be told well done. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, give me the notes, give me them. Yeah. But I know some people, again, it's each to their own, isn't it? Some people hate that. Some people totally hate it, and that's fine too.
Have you ever been given one note from a director that has sort of stuck with you for life? Not in a bad way, but I mean, it's been so useful that you've taken it with you.
Yeah, probably the first note that the RADA acting teacher gave me, and he said, "Do you know, Rochenda, you walk around with a Venetian mask of bullshit. You need to take it off." And he was right.
I love that.
Yeah, he said don't try and bullshit people, just be who you are.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh right, because you're just kind of so obsessed with kind of trying to be the person that they want you to be. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's
hard, that, isn't it? Because we've all got masks that we wear, and it's only as I've gotten older that I'm learning to take them down and that authenticity is actually, you know, really what people want.
Yeah, and it sells more. Genuine. But it's so hard because it's you're constantly being questioned and challenged and judged. So it's hard to be safe in yourself sometimes. I think it's
really hard, and to be honest with ourselves about who we are, to get honest about stuff that's going on. But if we're able to do that, I think then we can feel very vulnerable, and it's really exposing, which is terrifying. But that is sort of where the magic is, really.
Yeah, and it's inches, isn't it? Like you say, yeah. I know exactly what you mean, mate.
Do you have anything in particular that you look for in a character now? Are you selective at this point in your career over what you do and don't do?
I mean, as selective as you can be.
People are like that to me. They're like, "What drew you to this part?" I'm like, "I got offered it."
Yeah, that's exactly what I say. Yeah, I'm like, they gave me the job. No, do you know what it is? I'm so lucky. I get a lot of strong characters. It's like yourself, mate. You know, I get the strong, feisty women. I'm not over sexualized in the parts that I play either. So I get to fight. I get to shoot guns. I get to, do the fast car chases. So if I'm going to pigeonhole myself, I'm definitely going to pigeon myself in that. And it's also great to just show kind of just not romantic leads in women, a difference in what women are doing. I think since kind of Jodie Comer kind of came through the ranks, it's kind of all changed a little. You don't need to have so much kissing and sex and as a woman anymore. And I think that's the line I want to go down. I want to see women who are doing real jobs and working hard.
working hard on The Rig, which is on TV at the moment.
Yeah, that's a woman that's working hard.
So good.
Oh, thank you, mate.
I'm on episode 2.
Oh,
I've done 1 and 2. So where was that all filmed, and how was that filmed?
it was shot in Leith in Edinburgh, and it was studio. So we went to the water like for a week, but it was kind of 3 inches of water. There was nothing to it really. It was all trickery. But yeah, no, it was an amazing set build, mate. It was just absolutely incredible. But we shot it about a year and a half ago now.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, I've kind of dropped it, forgotten it.
If it goes again.
I'm way out of the picture with it. But it was so great. I mean, that cast and that kind of director, just incredible. So cool to work with, and massive sets, and like being sprayed by water and fans blowing at you for wind, and it's basically like making a movie, which I've never done before. So I was buzzing about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I did a bit in a water tank.
Oh yeah, of course you did at Christmas.
I loved it. It just felt like such an adventure.
Oh, it's so like you're not really acting, are you? That's the only way. I know that's really weird to say. You are doing lines and stuff, but it's the world is built for you, and it being thrown in a tank, that's ace. I've never done that. I would love to do that. Yeah, were you scared?
We had to do like a whole big scuba diving session and everything before, and I can't hold my nose. I have to hold my nose underwater. I was like, why are we going to shoot the scenes like this? But you just sort of, I managed it. I did get.
Where is it? Where's the tank?
Is it in? Was in like Bow over that way.
Oh, was it cold or warm?
Really warm.
Oh, that's better.
No, it's really warm, but it feels so weird going in your full attire.
I know, like every day, like eating your dinner all sodden wet.
I know. Just a quick question as well. Like when you're on set, so sometimes we speak a lot about how it works. They do a wide first sometimes. No, they always do a wide first, and then they come in for close-ups. Yeah. Do you have a preference if you've got a massive scene, a massive emotional scene, of whether you go first? Is that something that you would ask the director for? Can you just talk me through that process and dynamic a little bit?
I mean, I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but I sometimes like to play around with the order of things. So if you think that you should be first, then maybe try and go last. Or if there's somebody on set that wants to go first and then you go second, or whatever. I've had magic happen when I've gone first and said, I need a minute, and all. But I've also had magic happen when there's a light fitting dangling from the ceiling and it's all really messy at the end of the day. I think it's good to just try and touch and try and get a little bit of success in your work in lots of different time zones. I think it's good not to get set on. Obviously, I'm not a particularly nervous actor, but I know that some actors are very nervous, and also, like for example on The Rig, Emily Hampshire had a shed load of scientific geology to spout off, and it was all true. So and she had the geologist off to the side, like correcting her all the time. So she wants to go first. She can blooming well go first. Yeah, mate. She's got the hardest job. Do you know what I mean? I'm in
fear of roles like that.
Oh, me too. It just makes me want to be sick.
She's out of Schitt's Creek, isn't she?
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. I'd watched it before, and my friends came to visit me, and I had to stop them from knocking on the door. They are obsessed with it. They were like, "Where's baby? I was like, "No, she's working tomorrow."
Oh my God. And one final question before you go into those emotional scenes: is there a state or anything that you do to sort of get yourself into the zone?
Yeah, I mean, I know I've tried to force things before with kind of like sad music and thinking about other things, but I think that you just get your focus wanders when you're trying to associate something. For me, it does anyway. When I'm trying to associate something with that, but for me, it's just a moment of focus, mate.
Yeah.
Even in all the chaos, looking down, thinking, what am I thinking right now? What am I doing? But also no pressure. I mean, whatever it comes out like, it comes out like. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. And often I've done things where I've been like, that is absolute rubbish. And then I watch it on screen and I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, because you remember it, don't you? Think, oh, it'll ruin the whole show. Do you know what I mean? Me. Talking about like, I'll ruin the whole show. Like that. Yeah. So it's such an actor thing. But and then you watch it and you go, and that's been a real lesson for me, really. The lesson of the edit is, particularly on telly, you think, even if I mess up, go back to the beginning, they're going to chop that. That's why theatre's harder.
Yeah, that is true. But with theatre, you do get a chance. You're in more control of what you're doing.
Yeah, it's the 4 weeks.
Well, yeah. With that, you sort of hand it over and hope that they take.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. And it's their opinion then, isn't it? Yeah. What they choose. Yeah. It's out of your control. You've got to let it go.
And lastly, before I let you go, what advice would you have for any, I say young people, but this platform, we've got loads of people that are my age above, like getting into the industry. What advice would you give? Oh,
I'd give you the advice that was given to Maradona: perseverance. It's not practice, it's perseverance. Yeah. Keep going. That's all I'd say. Keep going. And if it makes you unhappy, stop. You know, that's the only bit of advice I could give. Just be happy and love what you do, if you can.
Amazing. Well, Rochenda, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me, darling.
All right, darling. Thank you for coming on IAMPRO, and I hope that we see you on here again soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.